Okay, so I wanted to address this following clip from a video about the Betty's Ball that Kappa Alpha Theta held on November 12th, 2022.
So what is the real timeline for Ethan and Zana? The consensus seems to be that Ethan went with his sister to the Betty's Ball formal at her sorority, then to a party at Sigma Chi with Zana. However, I don't think this is true, and I will show you why. Ethan's sister's sorority, as well as all of the other Greek houses, have spring and winter formal events each year around the same time. This is known as formal season. Maisie's sorority has a formal in April and another in September. I am not sure why the sorority posted pics on their Facebook group of Ethan at the Betty's Ball the night before the crime, but that post has been deleted. As you can see here, there was a formal in the spring in April, and then the Betty's Ball was in September. There is no way they would have held a formal event on the last home game of the season. There was too much happening on campus that weekend.
So the thing with sorority and fraternity formals is they're never held on the exact same date every year. You can try, but the fall formals all tend to go between September and November, some even into December. It all depends on schedules, on what places are open for availability, and you can see from these pictures I'll post next that Kappa Alpha Theta has had the Betty's Ball in September before, in October, in November, and even into December. And I was in a sorority in college, and football weekends are not a no-go for formal. In fact, when there's a day game, it's actually a good time because you know everybody's pretty much going to be in town anyway. Because non-football weekends, some people tend to go home for the weekend. So it's actually nice to have formal on the same night after a football game. Okay, so in 2018, they had the Betty's Ball on December 1st. And you can see through a couple of these photos that it was in December. And then in 2019 they had the Betty's Ball on December 7th, and I posted a couple pictures from then. There are a lot more pictures out there, but I just posted a few from each of these years. And of note, 2020 and 2021 did not have Betty's Balls because there was no formals going on due to COVID. So you're going to see the jump from 2019 to then 2022, but I'll post the 2022 pictures later in this. Then 2023, Criminal Confidential is correct. They had their formal in September. It was actually on September 23rd, but this photo was posted the 24th. And then in 2024, they actually had their formal in October. So it was on October 13th. And then the sorority posted a picture from the formal on October 14th. So you can see that they don't have it a set date every year. It's just fall semester, anywhere from October through December. Now, as far as being old pictures that are being reposted, that claim is not true. The pictures from the 2022 Betty's Ball were all posted on November 12th or after. None of these pictures were taken from something before. Betty's Ball was held at Hungadunga Brewery on November 12th. It's even been confirmed by Stacy Chapin that Ethan spent his last day with his sister at her formal. And so I'm going to show you these photos and you can draw your own conclusion, but I noticed a lot of them didn't post the night of the 12th or even on the 13th, and I have a feeling that's because, you know, well, I know too from being in college, you go home and you are tired, you sleep. And now back then we had to have party pics. We didn't have our own, cell phone cameras back then. But you mull through which pictures you do want to purchase from party pics. So what these kids are doing is they're looking through their pictures they took on their cell phones and they're mulling over which ones they want to post on social media. So usually you do that the next day. Well, the next day, obviously we know the whole campus found out about the murders. So I doubt most people were in the mood to post their pictures from formal. So you'll notice a lot of these kids didn't post photos until the 14th or beyond. And that's not nefarious. It has nothing to do with a cover-up. It is what it is. They had a tough event that happened, a tragic event, and many of them still did post their formal pictures, but it took them a few days to be in that mindset. But like I say, you can draw your own conclusions, but the Betty's Ball was held on November 12th. Okay, and here's Ethan's mom's comments about it. She said he spent his last day with his siblings dressed up and dancing. She said he was with our daughter. He was our daughter Maisie's date, and his brother was Maisie's roommate's date. The group was attending a dance hosted by Maisie's sorority. They all spent their last day together, all dressed up, and had a great time. And these pictures are to show you that all the Betty's Ball pictures were posted on November 12th and after, okay? None of these pictures were from prior to November 12th. So that accusation that the Betty's Ball didn't happen on November 12th and that people are lying and covering up is absolutely false. As I stated earlier, it was on November 12th at Hungadunga Brewery. And a lot of these people did not post their pictures until the 14th and beyond. And that's understandable. Like I said, they were probably shocked hearing the news on the 13th. And the last thing on their mind was to go through their pictures from formal. So that happened a day or two later, or even later in the week. Some of them didn't even post their pictures until December, as you'll see. And that's probably also when some of them were doing a wrap-up of the semester's worth of pictures. As you start going through all of your camera footage and trying to find your favorite for the semester.
Now let's talk about the party at Ethan's fraternity. All gatherings that are at one of the Greek houses on campus have to be registered with the university, and there are rules that have to be followed. One rule is that the party cannot occur outside of the hours that are listed on the registration. As you can see, the Sigma Chi party did not start until 9:30 p.m., so the story about Ethan and Xana being there at 8 doesn't make sense.
Now, as far as Ethan and Xana, with the Sigma Chi party not starting until 9:30, they could have gone there anytime. That 9:30 timeline is only for telling the university when you're going to allow non-member invited guests to come in. But since Ethan was a member of Sigma Chi, obviously he could go there anytime. And because Xana was his girlfriend, even though she's a non-member invited guest, she could also go to the house anytime. The girlfriends of fraternity members hang out at the fraternity houses a lot. And they only need permission from the person they're dating. So a time frame of 9:30 for the party begin time doesn't mean anything in the world of hanging out at a fraternity house.